All right, back here on the live stream, we are getting ready to start half number 2 between Georgia Tech and Duke. 7-7 football game between the Yellow Jackets and the Blue Devils. 238 total yards in the first half for Duke, 110 for Georgia Tech. 193 of those 238 for Duke in the air. Neither team's gotten a whole lot done on the rushing side. 45 rushing yards for Duke, 51 for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech only has their 7 points on the board because of that fumble for Duke that was returned into the end zone for the fumble recovery touchdown. So Duke's going to get the football here to start the second half, and we are underway in half number 2. And kick taken at the 10. Short kick across the 20, 25, 30. Look out down the sideline, 40, and down to the 45-yard line. A heck of a kick return. And Duke has excellent field position to start the second half at their own 45-yard line. Well, Haynes King for Georgia Tech in that first half was just 7 for 9 passing the football for 59 yards. Georgia Tech just did not have a whole lot of opportunities with the ball in that first half, as a big time of possession edge by about 7 minutes for Duke in that first half. The other side, Darian Mensah, 16 of 21 passing for 193 yards and a touchdown. Duke got 45 yards on the ground. Nate Shepard, the leading rusher, 9 carries, 32 yards. We are in for what looks like it's going to be an entertaining second half as Duke has the football at their own 45, 1st and 10. Mensah out of shotgun, takes the snap. Mensah rolls back. Pass is going to be caught, but for no gain at all. Reception for Quayshawn Brown, his second catch of the game, but it goes for nothing. 2nd and 10 coming. Second down 10 for Duke, ball at the 45. Mensah rolling to his right. Mensah throws, pass complete. First down, I think, for Duke. They're going to mark it right at the first down marker. Cooper Barkate, the leading receiver in the first half for Duke, with another catch. 1st and 10 at the 45. That's 8th catch of the game for Barkate, 128 yards. And a screen pass. And up to the 40-yard line, that once again is Barkate with the catch. Second and 6. They mark it at the 41. It's a direct snap to Shepard, and Shepard will get about 5. He's going to be about a yard shy of a first down. Third down. Clayton Powell-Lee banged up Georgia Tech defensive player on that play. We're looking at the scoreboard. There's a lot of close games going on around the country. Not a whole lot of games taking place right now, but they are all competitive. The biggest margin in a game right now across the country is that Baylor-TCU game. TCU is leading 21-10 at the half. Outside of that, LSU Vanderbilt's a 4-point game. Washington and Michigan are tied at the half. Arizona and Houston is a 7-point game. I'm sorry, Oklahoma, South Carolina, that's 14-0. But outside of that, Pretty close ones around the country so far on this Saturday. 3rd down and 1 for Duke. And that'll be a 1st down run on 3rd and a yard. Castle with the 1st down run. And the chains will move for Duke. This is a Duke team that averages 36.5 points a game. They've been held to 7 so far in this one. And this is going to be a gain of just a couple yards on a screen pass right side. Andrell Anthony with his first catch of the game, and that's good for a couple. 2nd down and 8. On 2nd down, here's a handoff on 2nd and 8, and this will be a considerable gain of about 4, setting up 3rd down and 4 for Duke. Shepard on the carry again. 3rd down and 4. Duke 5 for 8 on 3rd down conversions in this game today. It's a short 4 here, closer to about 3.5. Mensah takes the snap. Mensah looking. Mensah wide open receiver over the middle. That's a 1st down, and Duke is into the red zone. The reception again for Andrell Anthony. 1st down, Duke inside the Georgia Tech red zone at the 13. And this is a handoff. This will go inside the 10 to about the 6-yard line. Still dragging Georgia Tech tacklers was Nate Shepard. Duke trying to punch it in and go in front for the first time today. 2nd and 4 from the 6. This is the area where they had it on their first possession of the game and fumbled when Georgia Tech ran the fumble back for a defensive score. And a handoff here on 2nd and 4. This will be Castle, and he will get to about the 3.5, about 1.5 yards shy of 1st down. Duke's had the ball for the first 6 minutes of the 3rd quarter, trying to finish it off. Castle, he gets stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. He will not get the 1st down. The Georgia Tech defense stuffs Castle. It is 4th down and about 1 yard for Duke. So you could take what's a chip shot field goal to take the lead. But I don't think Duke's going to do that. Yep, offense still on the field. Fourth down. And flags fly. And we'll see what this flag is. It's on Georgia Tech on defense. That's going to give Georgia Tech a 1st down, or Duke a 1st down, rather. It was a delay of game on the defense. So Duke gets a first down via a defensive penalty. 1st and goal. From the 2. Mensah, the give, and is he in? They say no. He mark him down at the 1. It'll be 2nd and goal at about the 1/2 yard line. Duke has had the football for half the 3rd quarter, and they would love to close it out with a score and the lead. Mensah, Castle gets hit behind the line and stuffed again. It'll be 3rd and goal for Duke. Boy, the goal line defense for Georgia Tech has made some plays today. Third and goal football at the 1. An 8-minute plus drive for Duke to open the second half. Mensah takes the snap, gives it off to Castle. He is stuffed again, I think. I haven't seen a signal yet. And he is short. It's 4th and goal. And you know Duke's probably going to go for it again. So does Georgia Tech's defense have one more goal line stand? Can't get much closer than the ball is right now to the goal line. I know the shotgun is a lot of these quarterbacks' things now, but when you're that close, there is no reason to go shotgun. Just take the snap and leap up. And fourth and goal at about the half-yard line. And a whistle and a flag. 12 men on Duke. Oh, my goodness. And now they're going to have to kick it. Oh. Another killer for Duke. So they've had the 12 men on penalty here. They had the botched hold on a field goal attempt, and they had the fumble that was returned for a touchdown. So Duke has shot themselves in the foot several times in this game, and now they're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt. And as I mentioned, last field goal attempt, the holder bobbled the ball, botched the snap. It is a chip shot field goal from 23 to give Duke the lead. Snap is good this time. The hold is good this time, and the kick is right down the middle. And Duke does get 3 to take the lead for the first time today at 10-7. But you know they were wanting 7, as that was almost a 9-minute drive that Duke settles for a field goal. (10-7) lead for Duke. 6:10 to go, third quarter. That was a 15-play, 50-yard drive that took 8 minutes, 43 seconds. Almost 9 minutes in the third quarter. Todd Polino 23-yard field goal has given Duke the lead. Duke now up to 290 yards of offense. And they have had the ball for almost 16 minutes longer than Georgia Tech. And yet you look at the scoreboard and it's only 10-7. So 10-7 lead for Duke. And now Georgia Tech will finally get their first possession of the third quarter. Let's update you on the college football scoreboard. Still 17-13, Vanderbilt leading LSU. Underway in the third quarter there in Nashville. 14-0, number 14 Oklahoma leading South Carolina. That game approaching halftime. Washington and Michigan still 7-7. 9 minutes to go in the third. Houston's now built a 2-touchdown lead on Arizona. They lead 28-14. TCU starting to pull away from Baylor. That's 28-10 TCU in the third. TCU looking to go to 5-2. Tulane, another one of those teams that's in the group of five picture for the college football playoff, but they trail Army 9-3. Third quarter down there in New Orleans. And right as I said, 14-0 Oklahoma. South Carolina's just gotten in the end zone, so make that a closer contest. Well, ready for the kickoff here. Duke with their first lead of the game. And the kickoff is bobbled in the end zone, but it's going to get run out, but not far, as he's not even going to make the 15-yard line. And so Haynes King and Georgia Tech will come back out for their first drive of the third quarter. Again, some other games of note coming up later. Number 1, Ohio State in Madison to take on Wisconsin. Number 3, Indiana hosting Michigan State. With Miami losing last night to Louisville, assuming Ohio State does not lose to Wisconsin, Indiana a chance to go to number 2 in the AP poll with a win in that game. Number 4, Texas A&M at Arkansas. That game's been in Arlington for the last several years, but this game is a campus game in Fayetteville. And that was originally a 3:30 start, but they have moved that. They've pushed kickoff in that game back to 5:30. I wonder if they've got some inclement weather going on down there in Fayetteville. The featured game of the late afternoon window, number 5 Ole Miss, number 9 Georgia. Georgia trying to avoid a second SEC loss. Ole Miss looking to stay undefeated. Number 6, Alabama hosting number 11, Tennessee tonight. Number 7, Texas Tech at Arizona State. Texas Tech looking to stay unbeaten. Number 8, Oregon trying to bounce back from their home loss against Indiana last week. They travel to Rutgers. So here comes Georgia Tech on offense. They've been held to 110 total yards in this game. That was in the first half. This is their first second half possession. With 6:06 to go in the third. From the 14, Haynes King and Georgia Tech. King takes the shotgun snap. King looking left, fires, pass caught across the 20 up to the 23-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 9. Second down and about a yard and a half. King will keep it himself and get tackled at the 23-yard line. King only picks up about a half yard there, so it'll be 3rd down and 1 for Georgia Tech. Got an injured Duke player. Vincent Anthony Jr., the defensive end, shaken up for Duke. Hometown kid, senior out of Durham. And Vanderbilt has just punched it in the end zone again. They now lead LSU 24-13 with 7:25 to go in the third quarter. Vanderbilt looking for a signature win. The training staff still attending to Anthony Jr. And he is walking off the field under his own power. Good to see. Head coach Manny Diaz on the Duke sideline looking on. 3rd and 1, Georgia Tech, 5 to go in the third. Football to 23. King will keep it. He'll get to the first down marker across the 25 up to the 26. Looked like he was going to hand it off, but kept it himself and got to the first down marker. First down, Georgia Tech. Both these teams average over 30 points a game. I don't think we're going to get there. First down to 26. King dropping back, throwing to a wide open receiver left side, and down the sideline he goes inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line. 49 yards on that pass. And Georgia Tech in business down to the Duke 25. First down, Georgia Tech. Josh Beetham was the recipient of that 49-yard pass. And here's a handoff on first down, gain of a couple up to the 23-yard line. That's Haynes getting the carry. Hasn't really been much in the running game for either team in this game today. Second and 8, ball at the 23-yard line. King takes the shotgun snap. King drops back. King throws. That was deflected and incomplete. The second one of Haynes King's passes today that was deflected by someone on the defensive line for Duke. Third down and 8. Georgia Tech 3 for 7 on third downs in this game. They need 8 on this one and a stoppage before the third down snap. Georgia Tech with a timeout right before the snap with 2:51 remaining in the third quarter. 10-7 lead for Duke. But Georgia Tech definitely in game-tying field goal range. LSU has gotten back in that game with Vanderbilt, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, so that cuts the lead to 24-21 for Vanderbilt. Washington and Michigan still tied at 7. Tulane has tied up Army 10-10 in the third. So before this third down play, the timeout was called by Georgia Tech. That leaves them with 2. .251 remaining in the third. Georgia Tech will have a 3rd and 8 from the 23-yard line. Again, this is the first of 2 college football games on my live stream page today. I'll be back with you tonight at 7 Eastern for an FCS matchup. Number 3 in the FCS poll, Tarleton State, going up against West Georgia. So Georgia Tech trying to answer the Duke score on Duke's last drive with a score of their own. Third and 8 from the 23. Haynes King back in the shotgun. Duke student section making a lot of noise. Man in motion. King takes the snap. King with a down and a screen pass that's batted down. Chandler Rivers knocks down that screen pass. And it will be 4th down and a field goal attempt for Aiden Burr to try to tie it. This will be from 40 yards. Snap is good, and the kick goes on the way, and the kick is good, and the Yellow Jackets tie it with a Burr 40-yard field goal. 10-10, 2:45 to go in the third quarter. But a great play by Chandler Rivers on defense to prevent a third down conversion and hold Georgia Tech to a field goal. So now Duke will get the football back with 2:45 remaining in quarter number 3. Hagan's back to receive the kickoff for Duke. And that's through the end zone for a touchback. Duke will get it at the 25 for this next drive. And a first down handoff, and this will be a minimal gain on first down of a couple for Shepherd, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 8. Second and 9, they call it. Mensah's throw is caught. That'll be a first down, 35, 40-yard line, and up across the 40 to the 41-yard line. That'll be good for 15 yards to Shepherd and a first down. This is Shepherd getting the ball carry, and it's popped immediately. Maybe a yard, but no more than that. They do give Shepard a yard on that. It's a 2nd and 9. Mensah over the middle, incomplete. Good defensive play that time for Georgia Tech, setting up 3rd down. Third and 9 from the 42. Mensah dropping back. Mensah gets rid of it. Pass is going to be caught, but short of the 1st down at the 46-yard line. There is a flag that comes in at the end of this play. So we'll get the call. Offensive pass interference. Well, that's not enough for a 1st down anyway. So Georgia Tech will decline that. And Duke will have to punt. And here's the punt. And takes a nice bounce. And Duke's going to down it around the 5-yard line. So downing the football at the 5. And now Georgia Tech will have a long way to go. First down, Georgia Tech. They mark it at the 6. Here's a handoff up the middle and up to the 10, maybe the 11-yard line. Gain of 5 for Haynes. And that play may take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. See if Georgia Tech elects to get one more snap off before the expiration of the 3rd quarter. It does not appear they will. And we head to the 4th in Durham, North Carolina in a 10-10 game, Georgia Tech and Duke. Should be a heck of a finish. With 15 minutes, maybe, to decide this one. Quick college football scoreboard update. Still 24-21. Vanderbilt leading LSU. Vanderbilt is driving once again. Washington and Michigan still tied 7-7. Number 14, Oklahoma, 14-7 at the half over South Carolina. So the stats through 3 quarters in this game. Georgia Tech still not to the 200-yard mark. They are at 178. Duke at 311. First downs 19-9 for Duke. 3 penalties on each side, so not a heavily penalized game. Till almost a 2-1 possession time edge for Duke over Georgia Tech. And some individual numbers for Georgia Tech. Haynes King, just 9 of 13, passing the ball for 116 yards. Rushing leading rusher is Haynes King, 6 times for 33 yards. Jamal Haynes has rushed 7 times for 24 yards. Leading receiver for Georgia Tech is Eric Rivers. He's caught 3 balls for 21 yards. Isaiah Cannon, 2 catches for 26 yards, and then a catch each. For Josh Beetham, his win for 49. Jordan Allen, Bailey Stockton, and Malik Rutherford. For Duke, Darian Mensah is 23 of 29 for 242 yards and 1 touchdown. Leading receiver Cooper Barkate, 10 catches, 136 yards. 3 catches each for Samir Hagans and Nate Shepard, 2 catches for Andre Anthony. Also 2 catches for Quayshawn Brown, a catch each for Landon King, Jeremiah Hasley, and Jake Taylor. Running the football, Nate Shepard, the leading rusher, 15 carries, 50 yards. Anderson Castles rushed 11 times for 32 yards. And we stand 10-10 going to the 4th quarter. Now, Georgia Tech's last trip to the state of North Carolina was a couple weeks ago. They defeated Wake Forest in overtime. So here we go. Start of the 4th quarter. 2nd and 5. Football to 10. Haynes King on the quarterback keeper. King will get a first down across the 15 to the 20-yard line. Haynes King rushes for 10 and will move the chains for Georgia Tech. .42 yards rushing on the night now for King. Here's a handoff on first down. And this will be Jamal Haynes, and he'll pick up close to 5. Second down and 5 for Georgia Tech. Second down and 5 from the 25. King out of the shotgun. King fires deep down the field and complete. Almost a one-handed catch down there. There is a flag, however. So we'll check the flag. Oh, that might be pass interference on Duke. The defender never turned around to look for the ball, and it is going to be interference on Kamari Robinson. Never turned around to look for the ball, and that's probably going to get you flagged each time. Or close to each time. So first down, Georgia Tech up to the 40 on the 15-yard interference penalty. Another handoff here. This gain will go for a couple. Eric Rivers, the wide receiver, got the carry. Second and 7. King takes the handoff. King throws deep down the field. He overshoots his receiver, who was wide open down there. Dean Patterson was loose. That was going to be an easy touchdown, but King overshot him. It'll be third down. Third and 7. King throws again, and the catch is made inside the 30-yard line. A big 3rd down and 7 conversion. First down, and this is going to be a carry right side, and that will be a gain of a couple of yards for Malachi Hosley. Lineman for Georgia Tech down. Harrison Moore, the banged up Yellow Jacket on the field. Vanderbilt has scored again on LSU. They're back up by 10. That game is heading to the 4th quarter. So an injury timeout. Michigan has just gotten a touchdown. They've retaken the lead over Washington 14-7. That game heading to the 4th. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 3, Indiana. Number 5, Ole Miss. Getting set to kick off here in the next 50 minutes or so. So following the injury timeout, it's going to be 2nd down and 9 for Georgia Tech from the 26-yard line of Duke. Georgia Tech has finally made it over the 200 total yard number today. We're at 2:26 now in the game. Duke at 3:11. So back following the injury timeout, it's going to be 2nd down and 9 for Georgia Tech. Football at the 26-yard line of Duke as the Yellow Jackets look for the lead back. King throws over the middle, pass caught inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line. It's 1st and goal, Georgia Tech. Pass to the tight end, J.T. Byrne, his first catch of the game, and another Duke player down on the field. It's like Caleb Weaver, the injured Blue Devil, down on the field. Weaver sitting up. Clock stopped with exactly 12 minutes to go. So Weaver able to get up and walk off under his own power. Weaver, senior out of Houston, Texas. This is Georgia Tech's first trip into the red zone today. And they're down at the 5, 1st and goal. King will keep it himself and not get anywhere on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. That play kind of blew up from the snap. Second and goal. Football at the 5. King rolls right. King throws into traffic. Incomplete. Dangerous pass from Haynes King. 3rd and goal. Third and goal from the 5-yard line. Duke students making a lot of noise again, hoping to hold Georgia Tech to a field goal try. 11:09 to go. King looking, end zone, and into the end zone. Incomplete, says the official. It looked like a touchdown, but Canyon was bobbling it as he went down to the ground and out of bounds. 4th and goal. Canyon has it there. 2 feet. That looks like a catch to me. Unless the ball went down, or unless the ball came out right when he was going out the back of the end zone. And now we're going to have a stoppage here. I think we're going to have a review. Brent Key, the Georgia Tech coach, I think is going to challenge this, and he may win this. There's the ball in Canyon's hands. 1 foot down, 2 feet down. He still got the ball. Ball may have came loose when he was going down out of the back of the end zone. There's the catch. 1 foot, 2 foot. He still got it. He still got it. Oh, and then the ball came loose right there. Okay, yep. Yep, he had 2 feet down, and then they say you have to make the football move, and it did not. Here he did not. The ball came out, so Georgia Tech will have to settle for another field goal attempt. Aiden Burr hit from 40 last time. This one from 22, a chip shot. Snap is good. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And Georgia Tech takes the lead back at 13-10 with 11:01 to play in the fourth quarter. Drive for Georgia Tech. 12 plays, 89 yards, 4 minutes, 35 seconds. Aiden Burr, they're officially going to put a 23-yard field goal. And Georgia Tech leads 13-10. So Duke will have another chance, down 3, just over 11 minutes to play. Vanderbilt has gotten a touchdown. LSU's answered with a field goal. It's 31-24 Vanderbilt. 11.5 to go in that one in Nashville. Michigan's added an insurance touchdown. They now lead Washington 20-7 in the fourth. 28-21, Houston leading Arizona in that Big 12 battle. TCU leading Baylor 35-21, but they have hit a weather delay. They're in Fort Worth. And it's still Oklahoma 14-7 over South Carolina in the third. (13-10) Georgia Tech here with just over 11 minutes to play. So here we go. Georgia Tech about to kick it off. Run up and the kickoff. And through the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Duke will get it at the 25. 11:01 remaining, down by 3. So here we go. Duke 1st and 10 at the 25. Mensah being pressured and just has to get rid of it to the sideline. Incomplete. Blitz was coming, and Mensah had to get rid of the ball. 2nd and 10. There is a flag that came down. I wonder if they're going to get grounding, and they are. Mensah was not out of the pocket when he got rid of that ball. Yeah, Mensah just gave it a heave-ho to the sideline. Still well inside the pocket. That carries a loss of down from the spot, so 2nd and 17 for Duke. Mensah will keep it on 2nd down and slide down at the 24. 3rd down coming up. Duke 6 of 12 on 3rd downs. They need 11 on this one. Clock under 10 and a half minutes. Mensah takes the snap. Mensah looking, pressured again. Mensah gets rid of it, incomplete. Great defensive pressure by Georgia Tech. Jai Gilmore on the coverage. And it's a 3 and out for Duke. Cade Reynoldson on to punt. Fair catch called and made about the 27-yard line, and that's where Georgia Tech will start their next drive with 9:58 to go. So Georgia Tech with 9:58 to go. Maybe a little early to use clock yet. They will mark it at the 28-yard line. Duke at 310 yards of offense. Georgia Tech sitting at 247. Haynes King, 11 of 18, 167 yards passing. On the other side, Mensah, 23 of 30, 242 yards passing and 1 touchdown. Barcade, the leading receiver for Duke, he's got 10 passes for 136 yards. Time of possession still well over a 10-minute advantage for Duke. Georgia Tech, this is how big the time of possession has been. It's one of those misleading stats because look at the scoreboard. But Georgia Tech could take the remaining 9:58 off this clock and still would not catch Duke on time of possession. So Georgia Tech at the 28-yard line and 9:58 to go, up 13-10. About 45 minutes away from the kickoff of Ole Miss and Georgia, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan State. First down here, Georgia Tech at the 28, 9:58 to go. Haynes King takes the shotgun snap. King looking. King throws, pass complete, up across midfield into Duke territory. That will gain 23 yards. Luke Harpering on the reception for Georgia Tech there. First down and 10 at the 48. King on the keeper. King will get about 8 yards. Oh, King a good carry there. As we will go down under 9 minutes. Haynes King picked up 9. He continues to be Georgia Tech's leading rusher today. Second and a yard. Handoff, first down, Georgia Tech inside the 35 to the 33. That's another carry for Malachi Hosley. Georgia Tech gets a touchdown here. It will make it very, very difficult for Duke. First down at the 33. King on the keeper. He's going to lose a yard on first down. Good rush that time by the Duke defense. Haynes King getting the play call. Nearly the midway point of the fourth. King takes the snap. King throws. Pass is caught up to the 28-yard line. Short of the first down, though. And it'll be third down. Reception for Jordan Allen. It's his second catch of the game. Georgia Tech needs 5 on third down. They're 4 for 10 in this game on third down conversions. Need to get the football to the 23 of Duke. And that pass over the middle, that's going to be caught for a first down on 3rd and 5. The pass goes for 7 to Stockton. Bailey Stockton knew right where that first down marker was and be sure to get himself past it. First and 10 from the 21. King on the keeper again. King, Haynes King is near first down yardage. They're going to spot him, I think, a yard short at the 13. And Georgia Tech in the red zone for the second time. Second and 1. Handoff, first down, Yellow Jackets. Hosley, with the running play there. And a chance for Georgia Tech to burn even more clock here. This drive has taken almost 5 minutes off the clock. Here's the snap. Handoff. Up the middle. That's going to be a touchdown, Georgia Tech. Hosley takes it into the end zone, and Georgia Tech now with a 2-score lead on the 10-yard rushing touchdown for Hosley with 4:57 to go. That will now make it very difficult for Manny Diaz and Duke, now needing 2 scores in under 5 minutes. Extra point is on the way up and good, and it is 20-10. Georgia Tech, 4:57 remaining. Malachi Hosley. Duke looked like they were going to have him about the 7-yard line, but Hosley spun right out of a tackle and took it the rest of the way untouched. So Georgia Tech getting set to kick this off. And the kickoff will be another touchback. Duke will get it at the 25. First down, Duke at the 25. Pass is behind the receiver, incomplete. On second down, rolling to his right, flag comes in and out of bounds. This is going to be a hold on Duke, I think. So it is a hold to bring it back, 2nd and 20. Rolling to his left, throwing down the field. Open receiver at the 40, and the catch is made. That'll be a first down on 2nd and 20. It's Hagans with the grab. First down for Duke. They're having to come with a little bit more tempo now. Down 10 points. Throw right side is complete. And that's going to be another first down. Quick snap, Mensah's throw. That's right side. That's another reception, and that's going to be close to another Duke first down. That's been his go-to receiver today. Barkate, the transfer from Harvard. And they give him the first. Clock continuing to run, under 3.5. Mensah looking downfield. Pass is dropped. Incomplete. That will stop the clock with 3:06 to go. It's intended for Jake Taylor, and it went right off his hands. Mensah throws over the middle, nobody home, incomplete. And it'll be 3rd down and 10. So 3rd down for Duke. Mensah throwing down the field. That's almost picked off. And it'll be 4th down for Duke. If you kick the field goal here, you can bring it within 1 score. So they are going to try a field goal here from 46 yards, and that on the way, and it is no good. He hooked it. And with 2:52 to go, it remains a 10-point lead for Georgia Tech with 2:52 to go. Now, Duke does still have all 3 timeouts, plus the 2-minute timeout. Definitely had the distance, but Polino just hooked it to the right. And Georgia Tech, 2 minutes, 52 seconds away from moving to 7-0 on the season and in the driver's seat right now in the ACC. And now we have a flag before this first down snap, and it's going to be a false start on Georgia Tech. So that will move it to 1st and 15. And now a first down, Georgia Tech going to keep it on the ground. And Hosley with that carry. Back to the line of scrimmage. Duke's going to take one of their 3 remaining timeouts with 2:48 to go. And here's another handoff on second down. And it's not going to be much, maybe a couple for King. Second timeout for Duke with 2:44 to go. And now we have more pushing and shoving. Had an altercation in the first half. Well, not an altercation, but a little fracas in the first half as well. So Duke down to 1 timeout with 2:44 to go. And of course, there is still the 2-minute timeout. So if you're Georgia Tech on 3rd and 13, a 10-point lead, you figure it'll still be a running play, but do they try to throw it in the air here, needing 13 yards? Third down and about 13. And they will keep it on the ground. King will keep it. And King will get a first down. There is a flag, however. King will have a first down, but we'll see what the flag is. That may be a first down that seals the game, but unless this flag is on Georgia Tech. It's not. It's on Duke. It's a personal foul. So the 15-yard penalty against Duke may pretty much seal the deal for Georgia Tech in this one. Boy, Haynes King, cannot say enough about the great quarterback he is at Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech will have to run one play before the 2-minute timeout. They're up to the Duke 28-yard line. King will keep it again, and King is going to score into the end zone. 28-yard touchdown to put this game on ice for the Yellow Jackets with 2:10 to go. Haynes King finishes it off with a 28-yard touchdown run. And Georgia Tech is 2 minutes, 10 seconds away from moving to 7-0 and more than likely move into the top 10 in the AP poll when it comes out tomorrow. And the Duke fans starting to head for the exits in bunches. Extra point is good. 27-10, Georgia Tech with 2:10 to go. Numbers for Haynes King in this game. Passing the football, 14 of 21 for 205 yards, but running, he's now rushed 14 times for 120 yards. And Georgia Tech, all of a sudden, is at 380 yards of offense after being held to just 110 in the first half. That was pretty much due to them not having the ball a whole lot there in the first half. And it is a mass exodus of fans out of Wallace Wade Stadium. This Georgia Tech team, in case anybody was a little unsure about them, or this Georgia Tech team is for real, folks. Georgia Tech next week returns home to Atlanta. They will entertain Syracuse. Duke will have to regroup as they will suffer their first conference loss of the year. They have the week off next week before going to Clemson in 2 weeks. First down at the 25. Pass over the middle is going to be caught across the 30 up to the 32-yard line, and that will take us to the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes to go in this one. Georgia Tech on their way to 7-0 and in the driver's seat right now in the ACC. Had our first game gone final, Houston has defeated Arizona. Big 12 battle at 31-28, the final score there. So Houston gets bowl eligible as they move to 6-1. Boy, what a race that's going to shape up to be in the Big 12. Of course, Texas Tech, the front runners right now, along with Arizona State. Those two teams meet here in about less than an hour from now, out in Tempe. But once again, unfortunately, across the country today, we've got a lot of weather issues plaguing a lot of games. Texas A&M and Arkansas, that kickoff has been pushed back 2 hours. It was supposed to start here at 3:30 Eastern time. That has now been pushed back to a 5:30 Eastern time kickoff. USC Notre Dame tonight up in South Bend. They're expecting some bad weather up in the South Bend area. I'm only about 3 hours south of there, so it's going to be coming through here and then heading up there. So we're expecting some bad weather in that one tonight as well. Michigan State, Indiana, and Bloomington. And it has just gone final in Nashville. Vanderbilt has knocked off LSU 31-24. So there's a signature win for the Vanderbilt Commodores. They get themselves bowl eligible. They move to 6-1. But they have bigger aspirations on the table right now other than a bowl game. And Michigan it's just gone final. Michigan is defeated with Washington 24-7, handing Washington their second loss. Both those teams now 5-2. Ohio State getting ready to kick off here in about 15 minutes in Madison against Wisconsin. Number 3, Indiana, hosting Michigan State. Again, expecting some weather in that game. And number 5, Ole Miss. Number 9, Georgia. That is the featured game in the late afternoon window today. But final 2 minutes of this one, 27-10, Georgia Tech leading Duke. Georgia Tech about to go to 7-0 and 4-0 in the ACC. And Duke about to suffer their first conference loss. But Duke it was all Duke really in the first half. Over 2-1 yardage edge, and almost 3-1 time of possession edge. But that one miscue on offense, the fumble that Georgia Tech returned for a touchdown. So Duke has shot themselves in the foot on a few plays today. Mensah's pass here is caught and out of bounds. It'll be a first down for Duke up to the 36. Mensah in trouble. Mensah gets rid of it and fires to the sideline, incomplete. So Georgia Tech will be in the driver's seat right now in the ACC with Miami losing last night. Miami's loss last night not only gave them their first conference loss and their first overall loss, but now they no longer control their own destiny for the ACC title game. They're going to have to hope some teams lose along the way now. There's still 5 games left, so there's still plenty of time. But Mensah's pass here to the sideline is caught to Shepard. He gets out of bounds. Gain of about 7. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Clock is stopped at 1:44 to go. Duke does have 1 timeout left. Third and 3, pass caught, first down, up to midfield. Landon King, the tight end, with the reception. Mensah takes the snap. Mensah throws, pass caught, first down inside the 30, 25, 20, and down to the 19-yard line. Gain of 31 there. And again, the clock stops momentarily to move the chains. First down at the 19, clock running, 1:20. Mensah throws left side, and that is going to be a touchdown for Duke. Samir Hagans with the touchdown reception, and with 1:13 to go, it makes it 27-16. A lot of teams go for 2 in this situation. I don't know why. It doesn't make any difference. You're still down 2 scores. Mensah now at 373 yards passing. And Duke is going to go for 2 here. Again, I don't know what purpose this serves. Because even if you get it, you're still 2 scores down. Mensah to throw. Mensah rolling right. Mensah looking, firing to the end zone, and that is going to be it is a catch in the back of the end zone for 2 points. I wasn't sure if he came down in bounds or not. But it is a 2-point conversion to make it 27-18 with 1:13 to go. Here's a replay. Beats a Georgia Tech defender to the ball. He's got it there, and he's got a foot down. Does he hold on to it while he's going out of bounds? Looks like it. So this should stand. Here's a view from behind the end zone. He's got it there, foot down, going down to the ground. Looks like he controls it. Yeah, this should stand. So Barkate's been the go-to receiver tonight for Mensa. 27-18, and now here comes an onside attempt for Duke. And here comes the onside attempt, and that's going to go out of bounds. So Georgia Tech will get the football and can run out the last minute 12. Officials still discussing here. That ball went out of bounds. I mean, it's clear what the penalty is. I think they're figuring out where to place the ball. It was also, there not only was the kick out of bounds, it was also offsides on Duke on the kickoff. So with 1:12 to go, Georgia Tech can run 2 plays and put this one in the bag. So Duke, offense played well today, but just made a couple of inopportune mistakes. 441 yards of offense for Duke today. Georgia Tech ended up with 380, and victory formation here for Georgia Tech. They'll have to do that one more time, unless Duke wants to use their last timeout, which bad snap, you never know. So one more kneel down here. And that is going to do it. The Yellow Jackets move to 7-0 on the season, 4-0 now in the ACC. Duke suffers their first conference loss. They fall to 4-3 overall. 3-1 in the ACC as Georgia Tech wins it 27-18. And they go to 7-0 for the first time in 59 years. And they go back home and host the Syracuse Orange down in Atlanta next week. Final numbers here real quick before I sign off here. Sign off pretty quick here on the live stream. First total yards, 441 for Duke. 380 it says here for Georgia Tech. That's probably going to go down a couple yards with that last kneel down. Individual numbers, Haynes King, 14 of 21 for Georgia Tech, passing the ball 205 yards. He also rushed for 120 yards on 14 carries and had 1 rushing touchdown. Mensa on the other end for Duke, 32 for 44 for 373 yards and 2 touchdowns. Shepard, the leading rusher for Duke, 15 carries, 50 yards, and Barkate, the receiver for Duke, 13 catches for 172 yards. Possession time still about an 8-minute time of possession advantage for Duke. 8 penalties for Duke, 59 yards. Georgia Tech was penalized 4 times, and the 1 turnover in the game for Duke, but boy, was it a costly one. It was a fumble that Georgia Tech ran back for a touchdown. That was in the first quarter. That made it 7-0, and Georgia Tech is victorious, 27-18, the final score. Gonna sign off on this live stream right now. Again, my name is John, Sports Bonanza John here on YouTube. If you do like my content, would really appreciate a like and subscribe on my YouTube page. Also on Kick at Sports Kick John. I will be back later on this evening, 7 o'clock Eastern time, for an FCS matchup. The number 3 team In the FCS poll, Tarleton State, they're going up against West Georgia as Tarleton State looks to move to 8-0 on the season. I've got that FCS matchup coming up for you at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Hope to see you then on the live stream. And I am John. I'll talk to you again here in a little bit. God bless everyone.